Okay folks, today I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to scramble using thumber rollers. A lot of times you're going to be in situations where you've got trees and stuff that you can't get a good air shot, and you need to get that disc over to the right. Now obviously I'm talking about right-handed folks. We tend to get a little bit better about throwing little flick rollers that can break off to the left, but what about if we need to get that disc to go to the right? Well, that's when we either have to try to do something like this, which can get pretty weird, or if we can work on just getting a little bit of a thumber roller, we can just get out of a lot of trouble just by a little pop like this. And what I've found is, instead of gripping it like a full thumber, like I would be throwing a thumber shot like that, dropping the thumb in here, I actually like to just hold it on the rim, so I'm almost just pinching it, so that for some reason that just feels a little better. And that way I can just kind of pop it and it feels a little more natural than me trying to flip it out like this. Either way, I think it's a great little shot to try to work on just when you're farting around out on the disc golf course, to get used to having that little escape shot whenever you're stuck in bushes or something and you don't have any air shots. I'm gonna pretend like I've got air cover here so that I can't throw that out, and this is actually where it happens a lot, is I'll throw early and catch in these bushes here, and I've got to get to that basket there. And so I'm just gonna sit here and try to throw a couple little rollers, thumber rollers, and work on it. Now, talk about disc selection. Just like your different discs, your mid-ranges and your putters are going to be more reliable. They're not going to go as fast and as far, but you're going to have a better sense of what they're going to do. I like my kind of straight pigs are a great roller disc just to get out of trouble. It's not going to go super long, but it's not going to get squirrely on you. If you start trying to throw drivers and stuff like that, yeah, they'll be speedier and they'll cut through faster, but they can get wild on you and cut out a little bit more. So I like kind of like a mid-range, a nice reliable mid-range. I like the zones, the pigs, stuff like that is a great little mid-range escape disc, utility disc when I need to throw that escape roller. So let's go throw a couple and see how it does. So the shot is normally to try to throw past this tree and drop it over there, but the tree is in the perfect position where a lot of times your disc will hit the tree and fall into this area here. And that's a tight turn around there. I could try to throw a forehand, but I just can't get enough angle to get it around there. But if I'm stuck in the bush like this, if I can just step out a little bit, and if I'm trying to pinch the edge of it, and I'm just gonna throw it down like that and just let it work its way around, curled up, I'm 7 feet from the basket. All right, let's try it again where you can actually see where the disc goes. So once again, this isn't working on your power thumber roller. That's a whole nother shot, trying to figure out the timing of that. This is your escape scramble thumber roller. So now all I'm doing is I'm just picking a point right out there for it to land, and then I'm gonna let the disc do the rest of the work. Got a little early, but it's still okay. It hit a little rockage right here at the bottom. Always look at your ground area. See, I didn't pay attention to these little rocks here, and I hit it and it jumped a little bit. So that's the danger of throwing rollers. But yeah, even that got me around the corner and got me up here to the basket. Oh, never mind. A little early. All right, let's try it again. Something about just using that knuckle, that first knuckle. So I'm not even doing, I think I started that at first, but I just pinch it like this, where this knuckle and the thumb are acting as a pinch point. So I'm just holding it just like this in there and just giving it a nice little pop. But I'm pinching pretty hard just to hold it, to give it that little snap. Now I'm right here, I'm checking my ground. I want to miss those rocks. Get a good swing. And I'm about 8.5, 9 feet away. And the good news is this isn't an all-day practice thing. It's just getting the feel for it and then having it in your bag when you get in trouble. understanding how your disc is going to react. Exact same spot. So that's it, guys. It's just something to get out there, take 5-10 minutes while you're waiting on your buddies, or you're on a hole and somebody else is stuck in the woods. Just grab your mid-range, whatever disc you like, and just practice getting a little hook around stuff and draw it to the basket. I think it'll be a great practice for you, and it'll shave some strokes off your game when you really need it. All right, folks, well, thank you for those of you sticking around just to kind of hear my wrap-up of the tournament last week. I really appreciate it. Anybody who prayed for me, I really do thank you for that. I ended up winning it. I won $542, which basically covered my cost to go there, but it was a great experience as far as me kind of figuring some stuff out. Overall, I hated it. I had a really hard time there. I didn't sleep well. I was stressed out. But I was successful in how I was able to relate to the guys on my card and just able to spend time focusing on how others were doing there. So that was successful. But my internal battle was pretty bad. I did not enjoy it at all. I was a wreck. All right, getting ready to tee off in about 12 minutes and had the worst sleep of my life. I woke up every 30 minutes, so I've been out here for about 2.5 hours practicing, so I'm over practiced and probably worn out already, but we're gonna go have some fun. Overall, I kind of figured out that I just don't like the competition, and there's a lot going on there that's just my own internal angst and stuff from my past. But playing wise, I played pretty well. The first round, it was one of those rounds, I know y'all have had it, where everything is just a tick off. I actually didn't play bad at all, but it was like these little ninja branches, all these little things. My OB was out of bounds just by the wind, knocked it down by that much from being OB. And so there were just a couple little things that kept me from having a really good score on that first round. So I didn't play bad. I drove well and had a great time with Michael, David, and Dean Tannick. Now, I need to tell you, Dean Tannick is a legend. He came in second in the '93 Worlds. He's a Masters champion, World's Master champion. He's kind of one of those guys that was battling Climo a lot back in the 90s, and he's just a stud. And so it was just he and I on this card, but it was great to spend time with him. I hadn't really seen him in 26 years, well, since '96. And so I really enjoyed playing with him. He is such a good player, such great touch, and it was just awesome to just hang out with him. Played with two other guys, Michael and David, and they were a joy. We just had a good time talking about our families, work, stuff going on. It was great getting to know them, and we had a pretty good round. It was windy, long, and just completely opposite. I told one of the guys who's played Inverness, I said, it's like the polar opposite of this course, and he agreed, because it's just wide open, throw as hard and as far as you can, a lot. And so I finished 2 over. I had planned to try to shoot 2 under as my kind of not great round, but an okay round. So the fact that I shot 4 below that, I wasn't real happy about that, but it was really just weird stuff, so I didn't play bad. I was 4 strokes off Dean going into the second round. But that night I was able to go to the kind of the mini games thing where they had the long distance competition, which I didn't even attempt because there were guys there that were pushing 600 feet. You know, my buddy Jared Neal just crushes it, and he was out 560 or whatever, and I was like, I'm not even gonna hurt myself trying to do that. But I did do they had a Top Golf challenge, a precision challenge, and it was cool. It was set up at 150 feet, one basket, 250 feet, second basket, and 350 feet, the third. And they had 2 circles, and more points the closer you got to the basket. And I only had $10 on me, and I said, I'm gonna do it once, because it costs $10 each try. And so I was one of the first guys up. It was me and 2 other guys, and I ended up putting up a really good score that held all night, and I ended up winning the tournament, the mini golf tournament that night. So it was cool. I was throwing everything out to 350, and I hit 3 bullseyes and 1 circle 2. So it was good. It showed the younger guys that, you know, this old fart still can hit a pretty good shot. So that helped a lot, but I still just didn't sleep well. I was stressed out. Got to the club, which is the newest golf course out there, and the next day got there real early. Both days I got there like 2.5 hours before I needed to play because I was just awake and kind of stressed out. So I practiced a little bit, and so we started playing and drove really well. But on the second hole, I pulled something in my shoulder, and I thought I was going to have to just play the rest of the round left-handed because it really hurt. And I even told the guys, I said, I don't know if I can keep doing this. So I started playing just softly. The next one was a downhill, fortunately, so I threw a nice easy shot, and it didn't hurt so bad that I had to stop. But what I think it did is it took my mind off of just scores and all that stuff, and I just started playing really well. I ended up, my drives were getting smoother and longer, getting some really great drives, and I ended up shooting a 991 round, and I really should have shot a 999, but you know, we always have that. There was this one shot that just kills me to this day. I never saw the limb, and I hit it like first available. But that's, you know, we all have those stories, so I won't bore you with it. But so I ended up playing really well that day. I shot 3 under, and that's with, they took 2 par 5s and made them par 4s. And I can't reach them in the regular, so really take 2 strokes. It normally would be a 5 under, but it was 3 under. It was a 991 rated round, and I played real well. Dean, meanwhile, his back was hurting, and he started having some body issues as well. Dean's 61, and I'm 53, so I got 8 years on him. And so he was starting to have some trouble. And so at the end of the round, he said, Pete, I can't do a 3rd round out here because it's just throwing as far as you can all the time. So he had to disqualify. I already had him up by 10 strokes when he pulled out. So it would have been interesting just to see how it would have gone. But I was really sad to see him have to check out because it was a joy playing with him. Oh, I played with a guy named Chuck and a guy named Sean the second day. And they were great guys to play with. It's funny, Chuck came up to me and said, hey, did you do the preview holes video for this course? He said, because I watched that, and that was great. And then we got down to hole 16, and we'd been talking, you know, messing with each other. It was, you know, my kind of guys that you just be sarcastic and mess with each other. And he walked up to me on 16 and got real serious. He said, Pete, come here. He said, I got a confession. He said, I watched your video playing out here, and I saw that you shot even par your first round out here with a couple guys. And I said to my wife, you know, he's 52. He throws about 300, 350. I should have no problem out here. Now, see, Dean and I had to hook up with every day 2 MP40 players, so the younger guys, as we call it. For you guys, it might be the older guys, but for us, it's the younger guys. And he was in the MP40s, and he said, so I saw you play that, and I said, I got this. And he walked up and he said, Pete, you don't throw 300, 350. You're throwing 400 plus out there. You're out driving all of us. And he said, and your up shots are just deadly. He said, I misjudged how you played the game watching your videos, and I didn't realize. And so that was really cool. First of all, that he was humble enough to come up and tell me that really encouraged me. But it was just cool to go, okay, yeah, some of this that I'm doing is helping other players and encouraging other players. I know we're trying to be, you know, humble, and I'm doing this for all the right reasons, but it does really help when people come up and say, yeah, this makes a difference. So that was cool. Chuck, I really enjoyed, Chuck, if you're watching, I really enjoyed playing with you. You're a good guy, and just a joy. Anytime you come through Birmingham, you better holler at me. So that's it. I'm finished the second round, and I know that as long as I show up and make it around the course, I'm going to win the next day. That's kind of an odd feeling. I still didn't sleep well that night. You would think, no pressure. I'm a mess. I'm really a mess. So I go home, I try to sleep, I get up the next morning, and I get there, and I'm paired with the MP40 lead card, because to be honest, I was in 3rd place on their card if we looked at how the scores were going. And so I was playing with Matt Dollar, Scott from the first round, and David. And those 3 are battling it out for the top 3. And I'm put on their card, the lead card, and we start off, and I got the first hole, I got the longest drive, so that's all I cared about, even though I messed up the second shot, and we won't even talk about that. Everybody else birdied it, I parred it. But we started playing around, and the thing is I didn't know where I was supposed to be in all this. I told them on the 4th hole, I said, I'm just having trouble focusing, because I'm just kind of farting around. I was having a good time with them, but my score really was, because I was just kind of playing around. I ran some stuff I didn't need to. I threw a great shot, my best drive ever on hole number 10. I was 45 feet away from the basket, so I went for it. Well, it hit chains and went a little long, and I missed the putt coming back, and so I got a bogey. But that was where I'm just kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. But at the end of the day, had a great time with them. My score was just okay again, but man, I had some amazing drives. talking to Matt Dollar about that course, he was like, man, they should have changed it for the 40s and 50s where it's a little shorter. I threw my drive, my long distance driver, 15 of the 18 holes as hard and as long as I could for my tee shot. And he was like, you know, if you watch golf, you don't see them at par threes, the pros having to hit their drivers as hard as they can for their par threes. And that's kind of what that course was like. You're just throwing bombs as much as you possibly can all the time. And so I was just beat up, tired, worn out. And so that last round, just kind of had fun. Really enjoyed spending time with them and getting to know them. But at the end of the day, I was so glad to get in my car and head home, put on the seat warmer and just warm my back up and head to the house. So anyway, for you guys that prayed, thank you so much. I had a really good time getting to know these guys, and that was successful. Spending time with them, asking them how they're doing. It's amazing that it's so easy to just play the game and not find out about your card mates. I was able to talk to them, find out about their families, their work, what they do, and just get to know them. Guys, when you're out there with people that you don't know that real well, or people you've been playing with for years, ask them how they're doing. Ask them what's going on in their lives. It makes the game so much more important than just getting out there and throwing these things. So overall, success. But I'm beat up, tired. I don't think I'm going to go travel and go play any tournaments in the near future. Who knows? I'm talking to my counselor about all this stuff, trying to work out all the angst that I have in my life about this stuff. So maybe in the future. But overall, the last 3 tournaments I think I played, I've won, and I've hated every one of them. As far as internally, it just beat me up. So I don't know where that goes, but I'm just sharing that with y'all just to be honest. I could come back and say, yeah, I won it, everything was great, all that. I hated it. Hated who I was and how I struggled through that whole thing. I hope that makes sense. I think it would have been interesting if I'd come back and I lost and said I hate it, but the fact that I'm able to say, yeah, I won, and I still hated it, I don't know what that means. But so anyway, there you go. I've talked way too long. Go figure. I'm a talker. And if anybody stuck to the end of this, thank you so much. Guys, it really does mean a lot that some of y'all stick around and y'all will regularly write little comments and let me know that you appreciate it. That means a lot because I'm hoping I earn your trust, respect, and that we're going on this journey together. And so just give me a holler. Oftentimes just gives me a little bit more motivation to come out here and think about what the next thing I want to talk about. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much, and I really do hope to see you out on the course.